acting.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, that was our third commercial break. One more to go, don't worry, and then we go straight to the weekend. You're watching us live. It's Hectic 9 and live on SABC2. Yes, it's a Music Friday, but for a second, guys, for a minute, let's just get serious. As you all know, this week has been mainly about getting real. So now we've been exploring the realities of various things to live television. You saw with the interns of a Hectic Takeover, they saw that live TV is not only about the glitz and the glam, and from the athletes we learned that it's not really quite nice to be a sportsman because you do suffer from injuries and traveling and missing your loved ones, and also longevity in sports. But now today we're talking about something that is so close to my heart. It is music and entertainment, and joining me today is radio jock Wastie and of course our musician of the day, Tresor. Wastie, meet Tresor.
Hello. How are you, brother? I'm a big fan.
Such a talented man.
A big fan. I actually I dropped Freddie Verano's remix of Mount Everest on Afternoon Live on GetReal FM today. Yeah.
Let's have him on the show one day when it's back.
I need to. He wasn't radio yesterday. He was on GetReal FM just yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now today we are talking about, local music versus international music, So now if you take a closer look at Wastie and Tresor, you'll find that a lot of artists are trying to sound international just to please the international market. Do you think that artists should actually change the sound just to fit in with the whole world?
Wow. Yeah, let me answer this first. Okay, fine. Okay, well, I just believe that sometimes there is that feeling like if I want to be part of this commercial stream, that I should get an accent, etc., and try and sound like I'm from another place, maybe a place where I can fit in and make it big. The thing is, right, when it comes to American accents, I find that on a melody level, there is something in the phonetics of it, which means that when you say yeah, I'm gonna do the dances and I get the glasses and everybody gonna see, there's something about that lays into a melody beautifully. But then people that break the mold is like the Jack Sparrows and Antwoord, that'll just say the dance and the glass and everybody, that sort of thing. So I feel that sometimes, we actually need to kind of break out of this bubble, believing that commercials only about America, and just be ourselves and show our own sound. And by so doing, get somebody to turn ahead. Look at Psy and Korea. Korea wasn't even on the map in music. Psy goes up and Gangnam Style, and he stayed true to himself, and he's a hit all over the world by staying true to himself.
I was about to say that I think with the international market, they appreciate you bringing your Africanness into your music.
Absolutely.
Like what you said earlier on, do not forget where you are. And when, you go into Italy, they want to listen to an African sound. You mentioned the Antwoord, you mentioned Jack Sparrow, you mentioned so many. Him going to Italy, the soul, my fingers, they love the indigenous languages in your music. Why should we change just to please them?
Yeah, exactly. For me, I think, personally, I think our generation of artists hasn't achieved as much as Johnny Clegg, Ladies in Black Mambazo, Miriam Makeba, and those greats really exported African music to another level. And I think our generation, we still have a lot of work to do, but I would suggest, and my advice would be, keep your sound fresh and keep it strictly African.
That is so right. So now my next question is, we've seen international artists come into the country, there's big hoo-ha, and then they treat the opening act not the way they treat the international act. And you find that the guys who open for these big headlines, such as Chris Brown, whoever, they don't perform as well as the opening act. And why should they get different treatment? Who is to blame here? Is it management team or the sponsors or the organizers?
I think we need to make a bigger fuss about our own music. I think that's the issue. Because remember, if you see somebody like a Chris Brown and his albums in your popular music store and you're like, oh, what is that? The album's right there, or it's on iTunes and you can go grab it there. I just feel like that's all the hype. But we don't even make hype about our own music, which is our biggest problem though. And I feel that we need to support local first and then look at international thereafter. And as for opening acts, maybe we should stop doing that. No, AKA said recently that he's not going to be anybody's opening act anymore.
Because of the treatment he received.
Exactly, because you can't be a second-grade person in your own country. You have to be the star. And look at that, Black Coffee filled the stadium. In fact, he was actually the only South African artist to fill an entire stadium just for his gig. I think that's beautiful.
Even Casper Nyavest in Zambia.
Look at that.
You see, it was so super packed. Now, my next question is, which artists do you think are underrated in Africa? Starting on the Tresor.
Underrated. I think what really makes me sad, personally, I think the great artists in Africa, it's like once an artist is a little bit older, they kind of get forgotten. You get what I mean? So you get like great artists like Sipa Hostix, even Chaka Chaka. They don't get played on radio. You know, although they're legend, they're great. Although even if they produce music today, they won't get as much exposure as, for example, a new artist. And that for me is really not cool because we're kind of losing the treasure and people that paved the way for our art to be recognized internationally.
And you call Wastie?
Well, I mean, just to pick up on that, you know, the fact that artists are there and they grow and they kind of like they develop and suddenly they're forgotten because we are so focused on trending music. It's not about legacy. It's not about how hard this person worked to get into the industry and make a name for themselves. It's more about like what's hot right now. And I think that's the reason why some of the older artists that still have a lot to contribute to the music industry are sometimes forgotten. And I feel that's the underrated ones, definitely. I also feel that sometimes in South Africa, we live in little pockets. Like I'm from Port Elizabeth, therefore Port Elizabeth music is not welcome in Johannesburg. Or I'm a Cape Townian artist, let's just say like a guy like Youngster, he's a cool rapper. He's got some like colloquial terms, some slang from Cape Town, but he can't really like sort of break out because somebody has to say in Joburg, hey, at school you are now one of the trend rappers. So it's tough.
It is tough, man. Thanks a lot, Wastie. Thank you so much, Tresor. You guys are really amazing, and I'm sure Mzansi has learned something from you too. But now let's cross over to Mbasa, who is chilling with some other overachievers.